with Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Man, some little things going on, man. Even the French Open in tennis. French Open's going on all of a sudden. Sport throwing down, because trying to catch up to things. The U.S. Open, now a couple of weeks later, and they got the French Open, which normally around in May somewhere. So they on clay, handling their business. I didn't think, saw Nadal beat up somebody, straight sets, and I was like, oh my goodness, French Open surprised me. But here's something interesting. We haven't really heard from Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight champion of the world, WBC style, 10 title defenses. He's not the WBC champion anymore. That's would be Tyson Fury. That man beat him up, right? But there's a lot of things, that we haven't heard from Deontay Wilder from about 6 or 7 months, right? End of February to now, it's about 7 months, isn't it? And I just think it's awesome. I think it's razor sharp what Deontay Wilder is doing. I just think it's awesome. But we got questions. You know, do you want him to fight? When is the fight gonna be? Blah blah blah. But questions. Anybody seen the movie Rambo? Way back in the day. The second one when they took him to Vietnam, he had to get somebody out of there to get some POWs out of there. You know what I mean? But they wasn't supposed to be there, but they were there, and he had one. Remember when the helicopter came down? He had one with him, and the helicopter seen him. He was right there, and the helicopter just left anyway, right? He was mad about that. You was mad, right? If you old enough to understand, you mad as hell back then, wasn't you? And then when he got back towards the end, after let's fast forward to the end, he came back. What was my man named Colonel Troutman or something? Was you okay with him just almost killing Colonel Troutman, or were you okay with him uh, walking past the other guys? Matter of fact, the guy who drove the helicopter away. Well, he only got hit in the stomach. The one who told the other, "Don't be a hero," right, with the gun, nothing happened to him. Were you okay with that, right? Or somebody's being killed by the cops, you know, and justice isn't being served. For example, are you okay with just the shooter, something happening to him, or people who are enabling him and not doing anything about it, or his accomplices? Would you like something to happen to them? Just those are the things that I'm asking, because I'm asking that because of when it comes to Deontay Wilder, right? The taunting that's going on with Deontay Wilder. I think it's razor sharp. I think it's awesome that he's not answering anything, any taunts coming from Tyson Fury, you big dosser. You gonna better be ready this time because I'm gonna beat you up again. I hope you bring your A+ game. Taunts came in from about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Every now and then a taunt might come from Tyson Fury, right? I know he's a little nervous because he won't say anything. Deontay Wilder won't say anything, but the articles are also taunts. Every article about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, the third fight's going to happen. Tyson Fury beat him up in the second fight, and you know, uh, basically making it was easy for Tyson Fury to beat him in the second fight. Deontay Wilder probably doesn't have a chance. Deontay Wilder made an excuse about his suit being too big and things like that. No one will touch some of the other things that have come out. No one will touch it at all, right? Even the guy, the WBC president, Mauricio Solomon, saying that everybody's stupid for even thinking about some of the things that these theories that have came out, these pictures that have came out, concerning the gloves of Tyson Fury and other things. So you're stupid. Why you take this big win, this biggest win of the century away, right? And also saying that he was in the dressing room when the gloves are being taped from both fighters, and we come to find out that that was wrong. Come to find out that Tyson Fury, that even they've took the camera, they turned it off. We know all of these things. These things, anyone knows that. You don't have to be on the internet, right? Well, yes, you do, because mainstream media won't really say anything about it. And that's what I'm thinking. Deontay Wilder, here, any article he reads, there will be nothing about that. If he turns on even to ESPN and Fox or any of that stuff where sports are happening, they won't ever talk about that. So I just think it's pretty awesome. I think it's super awesome for him not to be saying anything. Now, the thing is, I personally, this is just me, I don't care if he fights Tyson Fury again. Now, I've said this in other videos before, but ain't but 3 people come in here. So just in case 5 come in here, then it's 2 more to heard. He doesn't have to fight Tyson Fury, in my opinion, like ever, right? I would be more interested in justice being served. You understand? I don't care if just Trump, something happens to him. I would rather Trump being not lose an election. I'd rather him being taken out of the White House in handcuffs because of his criminal activity, his obvious criminal activity. I would like the people that have enabled him, the senators, to be taken to jail. They shouldn't be in positions of power if they're going to tolerate criminal activity, if they're going to doo-doo on our Constitution and all those fundamental things that America stands on, to sit there and watch these things be done. You have a criminal putting justice in the Supreme Court, criminal. And, Kavanaugh was a criminal his damn self. So, we got just everywhere where people are in power, they are criminals everywhere, not just in America, just anywhere, in Turkey and Russia or wherever, right? These things are just, you're getting dictatorships. That's what's happening to America, but then enablers. So I would rather those people be called to justice so things like this will never happen again. If they just get voted out, that's not enough. Were these things illegal, what they were doing? If so, they go to jail like the guy who robbed the liquor store, right? Like the guy who stole a couple of Twinkies so he can give them to his little baby daughter or something. But now he's in jail for 3 months because he stole a couple of Twinkies, right? He's going to jail. These guys who are not paying taxes and who are doing things that are real bad for the whole country, right? And just anarchy in front of your eyes, nothing is happening to them, right? And it filters down in boxing. So when you come down and you're talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's third fight, I don't give a damn about if they fight. If the allegations against Tyson Fury are correct, then I would rather justice be served. I would rather the enablers to also something to happen to them, for justice to be served, that these things can stop happening. We had racist emails from the Boxing Bible and Golden Boy Promotions, Ring Magazine. Nothing ever happened. They never had to address it at all, right? That's blasphemous. It has to be addressed. These things like that. So we sitting here talking about, hey, man, Deontay Wilder gonna fight him in the third fight. That wouldn't be justice served, even if he beats him. Justice was served if somebody goes to jail, or if they let Deontay Wilder do what Tyson Fury allegedly done. And as a flip side to this, if, for example, if all of these allegations are false, right, then that's ludicrous. Then that shouldn't be. Somebody should be sued for coming up with this kind of stuff. If somebody came up with this kind of stuff, like, hey, well, you know what, the pictures of the gloves of Tyson Fury, somebody paid somebody to do the gloves like that, to make them look like that, and it was none of this stuff was true, and somebody made it up. That person should also justice to be served, right? If it's not true. But something is eerie because I'm just saying, if all these allegations aren't true, right? You're talking about the wild boar gate as well with Martin Carefoot, all that stuff wasn't true. Then Tyson Fury has a whole lot of people to be suing, right? He has a whole lot of people to be suing. It's slander, you know? And I don't see any of that. It's like, shoot, what you say, let me hear somebody in Deontay Wilder's team say that they're going to get sued because it's not even close to the truth. But none of that is coming. Wait, what's happening with Martin Carefoot, the 70-year-old farmer? And nothing's, we can't hear nothing from him no more. He was basically scared to say anything, right? How does that happen? When no one goes there and investigates? Remember, they were supposed to be investigating. Now, this is in February, right? February, March. We at the end of September. What the hell's going on, right? Nothing is going on. That's what's going on. And that anyone who's directly involved or vaguely involved needs to be something to happen to them. They need to be called to justice. That's what I would rather. And so it's not really a hard thing that I'm saying here. It's just I just think that Deontay Wilder, by not saying anything is cool. The only thing that's scaring me is I think that he really wants to fight Tyson Fury. But it's a bigger fight than that. It's not about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder's legacy is secured in the annals of boxing, right? We living right now, we're going through so much of racism and stuff that no one will see that. But those stats are going to be there, because people can say, yeah, he ain't fought nothing but bums. And then you can go look and see. Documented all the time. Are those really bums? But that's what people are going to say. They're not going to give him no love. They won't get, come on, boxing, BTBG. It is what it is. But you're not going to be able to take away 10 title defenses and knocking out 40 people in a row. And at least a good 18 of them were real formidable. Those first 22 or first 20, hey, whatever. Those are whatever kind of guys. But he just was learning how to box. You're not supposed to put him in with the strongest people when he's just learning how to box. That anybody. That's why you have the amateur. So, but if someone doesn't have an amateur background, then their first pro fights are going to be very easy to see that they can get through these first. But the other guys that they're fighting will be professionals, just not great ones. That's just normal, right? When somebody who's just learning the trade, you can't do it any other way. You probably mess around, go to jail yourself. So it's just interesting for me to sit back and watch Deontay Wilder not say anything. I think it's awesome. It's just I don't know if there's some lawsuits or something that's going to come down, because if you come out with the truth and this is true, most of these allegations, then damn, we're supposed to have lawsuits and something's supposed to happen to people, because right now on the whole planet, what we have right now is everyone that's doing stuff that's just basically wrong and illegal, they're getting away with it. And there's a lot of people that enable them. There's a lot of people that want them to get away with it. There's never anybody, if you say, hey, that's illegal. Isn't that illegal? Aren't we supposed to stop doing that? Right? Then something's wrong with you constantly. And it's getting to the point where, damn, bro, this is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. So when I'm looking at Deontay Wilder, I don't give a damn if he fights Tyson Fury. Ever. And he doesn't have to beat Tyson Fury now. I would like them to find out what happened on that night, and after that, we do let justice be served. And if Tyson Fury ain't in jail and he's allowed to fight, or the person who made up these allegations ain't in jail, right? Then we can start, or goes to jail or something. Then we can start talking about a fight. This is way bigger than a fight. That's why let's just go back and enjoy Deontay Wilder's silence. And when he talks, let's hope that he's saying maybe he's not even talking. Maybe his attorney is talking, and they're laying something down for a damn lawsuit. That would be my personal best case scenario in terms of if not, or if Tyson Fury brings a lawsuit because all of this is hocus pocus or hoax or whatever, and it's not true. But we need, if something happened or it didn't, and I think that's what we need to be focusing on. We don't need to be focusing on a fight, because we're not going to let that slip under a rug. Because if you had something in your gloves, or your gloves were not on right, or whatever it is, and you want to fight being 50 pounds heavier, then I don't give a damn if Deontay Wilder comes back in and knocks him out or whatever. I would rather people to understand that you would never do that again. And to do that, somebody might have to go to jail. Y'all follow on that? Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.